Have you ever been working on a piece of IKEA furniture and it's a particularly tough one because it has all those little freaking wheels and the little pieces that screw in, but they need a connector piece to go in the middle, right in that perfect little slot, and it's been a nightmare. And you're drenched in sweat. It's been 3 hours since you started this thing, and you finally screw in the last piece with that tiny little L screwdriver that they fit into there, and you plug it in. You take a sigh of relief, and then you look in the corner of the room, and there's a piece that you don't recognize until you look at step 3 of the directions. And you just look at that piece and you just go. Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Mike Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, you like the books that I talk about, or maybe I just have a punchable face. Whatever keeps you clicking, you dirty little rascal. Follow me. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Parler, and then you can subscribe to me on YouTube and Rumble. And more importantly than that, though, share the videos, share them with friends, and comment. Let me know if there's any books you want me to read, anything you'd like me to go over and review, or if you're a first-time author. I've done first-time authors before. It's real fun. Go ahead and send me your book if you're interested in me giving your debut book a good review. So today we're going to be taking a look at one of my all-time favorite books growing up. It's also a favorite of my kids because it's one I made sure to read to them. It's a wonderful book. Today we're going to take a look at The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. So The Giving Tree is a beautiful story about love and selflessness and childhood and growing up and heartache, and also the true blessings of a selfless gift. So Silverstein was a writer, a poet, a comic, a songwriter, and really he was one of the most gifted storytellers of the modern age. Most people are familiar with his children's stories and poems. Actually, a small fun fact that kind of blew my mind when I first read it is a lot of people know the song Boy Named Sue. It was made famous by Johnny Cash on I believe it was from the live album Live from San Quentin or Live from Folsom. That was actually a song written by Shel Silverstein. So that was a fun fact. I thought that was really cool. But a lot of schools actually use his poetry for when they do public oratoricals among the student body. That was actually something that I went through my elementary school and middle school days. So a lot of people are familiar with his work, although as far as nowadays, I'm actually not sure how often Shel Silverstein is read. So we're going to go through our 3-part criteria. Let's first look at the aesthetics. So Silverstein uses simple illustrations for the cover with the title and the author carved into the tree here. He uses basic colors, no frills or distractions, just the boy here, the tree, and then the action of giving. I find the cover to be absolutely perfect. It's a perfect 10 out of 10. So let's take a look at the readability. The book follows a single story arc with only 2 characters. So you have the boy, the tree, and that's pretty much it. So it makes it very easy for young listeners that might kind of be thrown off with a lot of different characters in it. And then it keeps the pages moving. So there are some pages where it's literally just one small sentence, which is really good for fidgety children. If you're a parent who has maybe a 2-year-old, they don't sit very easily for a story. This one's pretty easy. You might have 1 or 2 sentences, and then you'll have the occasional page where it'll have a little more dialogue, but it feeds really fast. The illustrations, one thing I really like is the illustrations don't try to do too much. They're very simple ink drawings, and it leaves a lot of white space to where a child actually looking at this can expand their imagination across the page. They can use this drawing as kind of a rubric and expand the action in their minds along with the words, and I think it actually does better for the children's imagination for something very simple like this. The text also is really big. and works really well as far as where it's placed in contrast with the illustration. So it works really well as far as readability goes. Another perfect score, 10 out of 10. Let's look at the content. So this is the story of a boy and a tree and their mutual love and affection. It's similar to what you would see between a mother and a son. Or from a comic standpoint, I'm someone that enjoyed comics growing up. It kind of reminded me a little bit of kind of the relationship between Calvin and Hobbes. So maybe not quite mother and son. If you want to look at it more as a inanimate object that's given personification with a young child, I think Calvin and Hobbes, although without the kind of troublesome conflict you see between Calvin and Hobbes in that comic. The tree lives to give the boy joy and happiness. She loves it. They spend a lot of time together in his boyhood, and for a boy, for a child, finding that joy and that happiness is very easy. Children are relatively easy to find that joy and excitement. But the boy grows up. He embarks on this journey of manhood. He goes through love and heart sickness and longing for marriage and to build a family and to make a home. But like many of us, his plans don't quite turn out the way he wants. Life throws him plenty of curveballs, and he has plenty of heartache along the way. And at every step in his journey, every real big change in his life, he approaches the tree and he needs something from her. And the tree is completely selfless. She loves the boy, and she always sees him as a boy, and gladly gives of herself everything from her apples. She's an apple tree to her branches, to her trunk. Like every she's giving more and more of herself, and you see constantly through the story, the boy incessantly asks for and receives from the tree gift after gift after gift, but appears to grow more and more unhappy as his life unfolds. He becomes less and less joyful, less and less happy. So I don't want to spoil the ending of the book, but really what I got from the book overall, which includes the ending, is that the one who gives from a place of love and patience and grace with no expectation in return is the one who is truly blessed in the end, the one who is truly most likely to find joy and happiness in the end, true love and true happiness. And I think really one of the underlying morals of the story is that true happiness doesn't come from items and getting what you think you deserve and having your every whim answered to you. It actually comes from selfless love and giving, which is what the tree really embodies in this story. It's an inspiring story. I absolutely love it. This is still a very, very, very popular book. As far as where you can find it, I found this one at Barnes & Noble. You could probably also find it at any of your local bookstores. It's a very hard book not to find because, again, it's been a classic for decades and decades. If all else fails, for whatever reason, you live in the middle of the desert and can't find it, you can always go find it on Amazon or eBay. I highly recommend it. I can't tell you how much I highly recommend this book, especially if you're a parent of young children. The book is The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Get yourself a copy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and go read something.